So I want to talk a little bit today about a walkthrough. So what a walkthrough is, and I know recently someone told me they closed on a house. It was through an owner, for sale by owner. Their attorney, I guess, didn't mention about the walkthrough. They did not do a walkthrough. When they got to the house, they were pretty surprised. The AC unit was not working. There was stuff left all over. It was just not a fresh, clean vibe to the house, and they were really disappointed. When you pay over $1 million, any price you pay, especially if it's over $1 million, and you think you're getting a good deal, you're buying it straight by the owner, and sometimes you got a good deal, sometimes not. But a walkthrough is something important, and I want to discuss that today a little bit. So walkthrough basically is if it has an agent comes with a buyer. The seller generally is there. If the seller moved out already, they don't have to legally be there just to get access to it. So it's just a buyer walking around the home that they're planning on buying, just to see that everything is in the same condition as if you went into contract. So if you come in, if typically, let's say if the closing is on a Wednesday afternoon, you could either do the walkthrough that morning, the day before, up to 2 days before. I generally like it, not more than that, because you want to make sure that nothing happened. You don't have to go 5 minutes before closing. And some buyers think that the best time is to go 20 minutes before closing, but it actually isn't, because if there are issues that come up, and things could come up. Like we had an issue once, there was a short circuit and the seller moved out a few months before. No one was living there. And we had to bring in an electrician. The seller obviously paid for it. And there was something minor that had to be fixed. We had an issue once that the AC unit wasn't working. We walked into the house and the house was a flying mess. There were stuff all over the place. So we put into part of our listing is once we're in contract is if it's a vacant home, to keep reminding the sellers, you need help cleaning it up. We check it out before we go through the walkthrough. So the buyer basically wants to check on the house to make sure that the house is in the same condition as if when it went into contract. It's not an opportunity to bring in a contractor and say, I found this issue that the home inspector didn't pick up. And it was there before, but I didn't pick it up. It's not an opportunity for that. You want to check that the home is the same condition as when you went into contract. So any new leaks, and I'll just give you a little scenario. We once had a walkthrough and there was a leak, and the other agent was saying it was there from before or whatever. So we ended up having pictures of the property and we're able to see that it was not there before, and the sellers ended up giving a credit to the buyer to fix it because we did the walkthrough that morning. So I really like to do the walkthrough a day before or 2 days before. So if there is an issue, we have time to address it. Like if there's a new issue comes up, you could bring in that professional and get a quote. So generally walkthroughs are, pretty smooth. I like when sellers clean the house. When you move, a moving day is like chaos, whoever moved before, or if you didn't move, you'll know now. Even from a rental to a rental, it's just so many things all over the place. Random hangers, random stuff around the house. So it could be it's empty of your stuff. It's just like a mess. So it's just a nice feeling if you're selling a house to someone. Just keep it presented over to them like you're giving them a gift over. Like just make it clean and nice and presentable. Some sellers go a step ahead, which is very nice. I've seen they put a nice bottle of wine, a nice little candle with like a letter, what they liked about their house, and the keys of the garage, and little tricks. Every house has little tricks. If you see this, don't forget to clean the gutters every 3 months, not every 6 months. Like everyone has their little tweaks in their house, and it's so nice when I see sellers who like hand over their house with such love. I would pay a little more, and I always tell my clients, pay a little more for a house that the seller loves their home and they maintain it. Because they're not like, random issues flying around that they didn't take care of, that they knew of. So in a nutshell, a walkthrough is meant to be walk through the house to make sure everything, turn on the water, make sure the water pressure is good, make sure the hot water comes on. If it's the summer, just turn on the heat, make sure the heat's working. So that's basically, a walkthrough in a nutshell.